My landlord refused to return my $2,400 security deposit, claiming I'd been vaping and damaged the walls, so I decided to sue him. I rented a one-bedroom apartment in Portland from 2018 to 2020. The landlord, Gary Stevenson, owned 4 buildings in the neighborhood and managed everything himself. The apartment was fine, nothing special, but the rent was reasonable at $1,350 a month. I paid a $2,400 security deposit when I moved in, standard for the area. Gary seemed professional initially. He fixed things promptly and didn't bother me unnecessarily. The lease had a strict no smoking and no vaping policy. I didn't smoke or vape, never had. When I gave him 60 days notice in October 2020 that I'd be moving for a new job, he seemed fine with it. Oregon law required landlords to return security deposits within 31 days, minus any legitimate deductions for damages beyond normal wear and tear. I'd kept the apartment clean and well maintained. Before I moved out in December, I spent 2 days deep cleaning. I scrubbed everything, shampooed the carpets, wiped down the baseboards. I took photos of everything. I took over 60 photos of the apartment the day I moved out. Every room from multiple angles, close-ups of the walls showing no damage or discoloration, the clean carpet, the spotless bathroom. All photos were timestamped December 15th, 2020. I did my final walkthrough with Gary. He walked through slowly, examining the walls carefully, running his hand along them. He spent extra time in the bedroom and living room looking at the paint. Looks fine, he finally said. I'll process your deposit return. Oregon law gave him 31 days, so I expected a check by mid-January. January 15th came and went. No check, no itemized list. I called Gary. I'm keeping your deposit. You violated the lease by vaping in the apartment. What? I don't vape. I've never vaped in my life. The walls have nicotine residue. I can see the discoloration. It's going to cost thousands to remediate and repaint. There's no nicotine residue. I don't smoke or vape, period. Well, that's not what I'm seeing. The smell is there too. You clearly violated the no smoking policy. 2 days later, Gary sent an itemized list. Nicotine remediation and deep cleaning, $1,800. Full apartment repainting due to nicotine damage, $1,200. Carpet deep cleaning for smoke smell, $400. Total, $3,400. He was keeping my entire $2,400 deposit and claiming I owed him another $1,000. I looked at my photos. The walls showed no yellowing or discoloration. There was no smoke damage. Gary was lying to keep my deposit. I researched nicotine residue. Professional testing can detect it, but it requires heavy, prolonged use. If Gary was claiming damage, he'd need proof. I called an environmental testing company. They said testing needed to happen while I had access or shortly after move out. It was too late. Then I remembered something. I'd had the apartment professionally cleaned 2 weeks before moving out. I'd hired a cleaning service and they'd done a deep clean of everything. I found their invoice. It included an itemization, wall washing, baseboard cleaning, carpet shampooing, everything. I called the cleaning company and explained the situation. Their manager said if there had been nicotine residue on the walls, their cleaners would have documented it because it requires special treatment and additional charges. They had no such notes. They sent me a letter confirming they'd cleaned the apartment and found no evidence of smoking or vaping residue. I also pulled my renter's insurance records showing I'd maintained coverage with no smoking related claims or violations. I sent Gary a demand letter with a cleaning company statement, my insurance records, and my photos. I gave him 10 days to return my deposit. His response was smug. You violated the lease. I have photos of the damage. Your deposit is forfeited. I filed a small claims lawsuit the next day. I sued for the $2,400 deposit plus $4,800 in penalties for bad faith withholding. The filing fee was $100. I printed all my photos, the cleaning company letter, and my insurance records. I subpoenaed Gary to bring his damage photos and any professional testing results. The hearing was in March 2021. Gary brought 3 blurry phone photos of the walls. They showed normal off-white walls, identical to my photos. The judge looked at both sets side by side. I don't see discoloration in either set. Where's the nicotine damage? Gary pointed vaguely. You can see the yellowing here. It's subtle, but it's there. The judge squinted. These walls look identical to the plaintiff's photos. Do you have any professional testing showing nicotine residue? No, but I could smell it. The judge turned to me. Do you smoke or vape? Never, Your Honor. I don't use any tobacco or nicotine products. I have a letter from the professional cleaning company that cleaned my apartment 2 weeks before move out confirming no nicotine residue was found. I handed the letter to the judge. The judge read it and looked back at Gary. So you claimed nicotine damage but have no testing. The walls look identical in both photo sets, and a professional cleaning company found no evidence of smoking or vaping 2 weeks before move out. Gary had no response. The judge ruled immediately. The defendant has provided no credible evidence of lease violations or damage. The withholding was in bad faith. I award the plaintiff $2,400 plus $4,800 in statutory penalties, plus the $100 filing fee. Total, $7,300. Gary paid within 2 weeks. 3 other tenants sued him for similar fake vaping claims. Photos and documentation win.